Good morning, students.
Morning, teacher. Good morning.
How are you, students? How are you today?
I'm fine.
Okay, all right. So just wait for a little while. Let all of your friends join, so then we can start. And student, please keep your camera open. Just wait for a while, let all of your friends join so we can start. So you're having your textbooks already, textbooks of occupation and technology. All right, so today we are going to start page number 74. Tools and equipment for growing garden plants. Page number 74. Tools and equipment for growing garden plants. So page 74. So we already learned about some of the equipments and tools, like for example, a watering can, a bucket, a hose, a shovel. We already talked about that. We already discussed how we can use these equipment and how we can maintain, how we can take care of it. The tools and equipment for growing garden plants. Okay, so equipment number 5, we have hoe. So a hoe is a tool made of white metal, right? Here, as you can see in the picture, this is what we call hoe. So that's actually made of a metal. Okay, it's made of a metal, and right here at the bottom you can see they're having a sharp blade, and usually it's actually curving inward. You can see here it's actually curve inward, curve inside, like that. It's coming curved inward, slightly inside, not too much, just a little bit curved inside. So the blade is attached to a handle at a right angle. Here you can see they're having a handle right here. Usually the handle is actually made from, it's made from wood, right? They're having a long handle of a wooden, from a wood, okay? So it is, how do we use? So it's actually used to dig or loosen tight or sticky soil when preparing a planting plot. So if we are going to plant any sort of plants in a garden or elsewhere. So for example, if the soil is too sticky, if it is too hard and tight, so what we do, we, with the help of hoe, we actually dig that. We dig the soil, so the soil, they become loose, okay, and we can prepare for planting plots, okay. You, all of you students, you know already, maybe you have seen in your house, they do have hoe. Students, have you ever used that? Students, answer me, have you ever used this equipment, this tool?
No.
It's very common. You will find in almost in every house you will find. So usually it actually used for one of the main tool for growing plants. Okay, so that's actually made of. It's made of a metal. Okay, it's made of a metal, and it's actually curved. You can see here that's curved inside, and the blade here right at the end, the blade here, that's actually too sharp. It's too sharp. We use for if the soil is actually too hard, too tight, so we dig the soil, so we prepare the soil for planting plots. Now, how we are going to maintain it? Maintenance, you know about maintenance. Maintenance means like how we can take care of it, so to avoid rust and we can use for a long period of time. So clean the hoe every time after use, then dry it by wiping and apply oil to the metal part to prevent rust. So whenever we finish our work, we done with our job, right? So what we have to do, we have to wipe it, right? So wiping, and we have to keep it dry. We have to make it dry. And then if possible, we apply oil on that. Which part we are going to apply oil? The metal part, this part, okay? So the metal part, actually, the metal part we are going to apply oil. So it will prevent from rust, so it won't get rusty. If there are any problem with the hoe, for example, if blade gets twisted or nicked, it should be fixed before storing. So if you find if you find your tool, if the blade, like the sharper area, this area, the blade here, if the blade get twisted, get damaged, or either nicked, so what you have to do, first of all, you have to fix it before storing it. So once you fix it, then you can store, so it will be ready to use it in the future. Okay, students, so that's a tool number 5. Now, another tool we have, number 6, trowel. Here you can see in the picture, this is what we call trowel, right? So trowel is actually a small tool and it's curved. You can see here, actually, the shape of that, it's like a curved shape, right? It's like a curved shape, pointed metal blade used in the garden to dig small holes. So here, actually, this part, the blade is actually also sharper. It's a sharp blade, right? So usually we use trowel for small holes. If we would like to dig small holes, so we often use trowel, right? And remove small plants from the garden. If like you would like to plant any small plants, or either if they have like some other sort of plants in the garden, like a weed or something, so we just dig that and take it out. So usually we use trowel for lighter work, okay, not heavy work. We use for lighter work. And how we are going to maintain it? Maintenance. So maintenance of a trowel, you can Clean the trowel every time after use. Then dry it by wiping and apply oil to the metal part to rust. So the same method we are going to use to maintain. What we are going to do, first of all, we have to clean it. Okay, we have to clean it and wiping by wiping, right? After that, we are going to apply some sort of oil. So with the help of oil, the metal part, this part, like the metal part, it won't get rusty. It will be safe. So before you storing, you have to clean it, apply oil on that, and it will help to prevent rust. Store it by hanging it or putting it in a shelf. So how you can store it? You can put it either in the shelf, right? Or either you can hang it somewhere. So this is how you can maintain a trowel. Now, another tool, what we have, hand fork. Hand fork. So hand fork is actually, it's a tool with a small handle. You can see here, it's a tool, it's a small tool, right? And they're having a short handle. You can see here, the handle of that, it's also quite short. Just we can just hold it in our hand, right? With a single hand. So they're having a small handle. And they're having 3 or 4 points used for digging and loosening the soil. Here you can see they're having like a 3, most of the time they're having like a 3 points, 4, right? Or either they have like a 4 points. Okay, so how we use that? Mostly we use it for to dig the soil, or either if the soil is a little bit hard, so we make the soil loosen, so the soil will become more loosen. And especially we use for small plants. Okay, we not use for the bigger plants, for the heavy plants, we use it for small plants. And it can also be used to remove weed. Like if in our garden we have like a useless plants, or either like a weed, they grow up, they're having weed, so we used to remove the weed out of the garden. Now do not use it with hard and sticky soil in order to keep it in a good condition. So usually hand fork is used for the soft soil. Okay, the soil is soft, we use for that. Do not use it for hard soil. If the soil is too much hard, or either like a tight or sticky soil, so don't use that, because it can cause damage to hand fork. Okay, students, now how you are going to take care of the hand fork? It's quite simple, the same method, maintenance. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to clean it. You have to clean the hand fork every time. Every time you use the hand fork, so you have to clean it. Okay, you have to clean it quite often, every time once you are done with your job. After use, then dry it by wiping and apply oil. So the similar maintenance method we can apply on all these tools, because all these tools they're actually made of metal, right? So metal, it is easy to get rusted. So that's why we have to wiping it, and then we are going to apply oil to the metal part, not to the handle. Okay, only the metal part to prevent the rust. And then how you have to store it? You have to store it by hanging it or putting it in the shelf. So you can put somewhere in your house in a shelf, or either you can just hang it somewhere in a safe place. So that one is hand fork. Have you ever used them, students? The trowel or a hand fork? Have you ever used that in your house? Students, have you ever used any of these tools? Quiet. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, students, don't be quiet. So we can continue. So I can understand that you are familiar with these tools. Okay, another tool which we can use for gardening, that one is clippers. So clippers is also one of the most important tool which we can use for maintenance, which we can use in the gardening. Okay, so garden clippers are a tool made of two sharp blades that are joined in the middle. So here you can see this is actually a clipper, a garden clipper. So they're having like a two sharp blades. One blade you can see here on this part, another blade is right here. So both these part, first and second, both of these parts, they're actually quite sharp. They're always sharp and they are actually attached right at the center point. You can see here they're having a nut which actually attach them. Right, so both of the side is actually sharp and it's been attached right in the middle. How do we use that? We use the clipper for cutting branches. If we have like a small sort of plants, so while the branches of the plants they grow up and we would like to cut it, so with the help of garden clipper we actually cut the branches. We cut the branches of plants. And also you can see here right at the bottom here they're having a lock. Okay, that's actually a lock. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to unlock the spring using, we have to unlock the spring while using, and immediately locked it, we are finished. So whenever we are done with the usage or using of clipper, so we have to lock it, like we just join together and then lock it, right? So lock is right here. It will be locked in the both side. After that, if you would like to use, so first you have to unlock. Okay, you have to unlock and then you can use it. So once you are done, you have to make sure that you lock it all the time. Now, maintenance, how we are going to take care of the garden clippers. You have to clean it, clean out all, you have to clean it all, any sap from the clipper. So once you use that, if they have any sap, right, so you have to clean it off, right? And every time after use, apply oil. So the oil you have to apply on the metal area. You can see here, this part you have to apply oil. Apply oil on the metal part. Why? Because metal, it can easily get rusted. So to prevent rust, you have to apply oil on that. And after that, once you are done with that, then you have to store them by hanging them properly. You have to, you can put it in the shelf, or either you can put it, either you can hang it somewhere where it is safe. So that's equipment number 8, garden clipper. Now, nowadays there are several, this one like the other one, nowadays there are several options for choosing hose. So hose, we already know about the hose, right? So hose is actually used for watering plants, right? And these hose, we having many different types. So hose and nozzles depend on the purpose they are needed. They can be used to water, small plants, right? So usually the hose we use for watering small plants. It is exactly work like a watering can. Okay, it actually work like a watering can. So hoses, actually it can be used for trees, to watering by trees and lawns. Hose can also be used to clean the floor and wash the car. So it actually multi-purpose use. So these are the 8 different tools and equipments which we can use quite often for the gardens. Okay, students, you understand them, all of them?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, now let's move towards the safety. So safety, it's very important. Okay, safely using agriculture tools and equipments while you are using all these type of tools. So you have to make sure that safety first. You have to use all these tools safely. Okay, all sort of equipments, while all sort of agriculture equipments and tools you have to use safely. Okay, so these are some of the following list your own safety while using agriculture tools and equipments. Number 1, learn how to use each of the tools and equipment properly. So first of all, before you using any type of tool or equipment, first you have to learn how to use properly to don't harm yourself. Okay. Number 2, use the right tool and equipment for the right job. Like first of all, you have to make sure what is the job you are going to do. Then according to that job, you have to choose the right tool and the right equipment. Okay. Number 3, check whether the tool and equipment are in good condition before use. So while you are going to use any type of a tool or equipment for any job, so before using that, you just make sure that the tool or either equipment, it is in the good condition, like it is not damaged. Okay, so you have to make sure first before using. Okay, now number 4, fix tools and equipment if there is any problem before use. So while you are about to use any type of tool, so before using that, you just make sure that there is no problem with the equipments. Okay, if they're having any problem with equipments, so first you have to fix it. You have to fix the problem. After that, you can do your job with those tools. Now, number 5, do not use tools and equipment for playing. So most of the agriculture tools, they are actually made from metal, and also they are sharp. Okay, so which means you're not supposed to play with all these tools. Okay, because if you play with all these tools, so maybe you can harm yourself. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're not supposed to play with the agriculture tools. Number 6, wear appropriate clothes for each type of job. So if you are going to do any agriculture sort of a job, so you have to make sure that you wear proper clothes, like you wear a proper clothes that it can protect you. Okay. Number 7, be aware of your neighbor's safety while using tools and equipment. So whenever you are using any sort of tool, so you always have to make sure that the people nearby you, they don't get harm. Okay, so you have to make sure the safety for the people around you and your neighboring as well. All right. Number 8, be careful and do not put any tool or equipment on the floor in order to prevent accident. So once you are done with your job, so you have to make sure that keep all of your equipments and tool stored at the proper place. Don't put it on the floor. Don't put it here and there, because maybe somebody walking and somebody walk over those tools and they can make harm to them. So to avoid accident, Store it properly. Don't put on the floor. Number 9. Number 9 is clean your tools and equipment after use and make sure that they are ready to use next time. So as we already learned while we doing our job, so we have to make sure once we finish our job, we clean all of the tools properly. We wet by wrapping it and then apply oil on that. So we keep it, store it properly. So cleanness is very important because if we don't clean our equipments and tools, so it will be get rusted. It will be damaged. We won't be able to use it for next time. Now, number 10, store all of the tools and equipments properly after cleaning. So as I already mentioned, once you are finished with your job, okay, clean your tools and then keep it, clean your tools and then store it properly. Okay, so you can use it for next time. Okay, students, you understand that these are the 10 important tips which are actually useful for safely using agriculture tools and equipments. Okay, you understand that, students? Do you have any question?
No.
Yes.
No? Okay.
Ayun na, teacher.
All right. Before we go to the vocabulary, right? So first of all, let's talk about how you can grow the plants, grow the flowering plants. Okay. So marigold is actually the type of flower, right? As you can see here, right in the picture, this sort of flower, actually we call that marigold. So marigold is a flowering plant that grow well in all type of soil and full sun. So marigold is actually very easy to grow up, all type of soil. It can easily grow up with the, and also in a full sun, okay? It should be planted outdoor. Like this sort of flower, we're not supposed to grow indoor. It had to be outdoor, like in the garden or either in the front of our house, right? So each marigold plant usually produces a lot of flowers with a dark yellow circular shape. So this type of flower is actually very easy to grow, right? And mostly they're having too many flowers, high amount of flowering plants. And the shape of the flower is actually like a circle. You can see here, it's like a round circle shape, okay? So if you would like to grow this sort of flower, which type of tools and equipments we require? Number 1, we required seeds, okay? Number 2, we required hand fork. You remember already the hand fork? They're having like a 3-point, okay? So hand fork is required for that. Another tool we required, watering can. So with watering can, we can watering the flower. Then number 4, the soil it required actually loosen soil, not sticky, not tight soil. They have to be soft soil, okay? Now another one, number 5, we also required trowel and hoe. So these are the 6 tools and equipments we required, okay? Now let's start the procedure, how we can start the procedure to grow marigold flower. Number 1, first of all, what you have to do, you have to dig the soil surface and leave it for 1 week in order to get rid of all the weed, insects, and germs that could harm the plants. So before we plant the flower, what we have to do, we have to dig the soil surface. The surface of the soil, we dig it and then just leave it. Just leave it for at least a week, okay? So why we leave it for a week? So if they're having the soil, they have like a weed, or they're having like a germs, they're having like a insects, or either some other sort of harmful stuff they have, so it will be get clean from that. Number 2, select planting area which requires an approximately width of 1 meter. So if we choose the area where we are going to plant it, so it have to be wide, they have to have a width of 1 meter at least. Number 3, break down the soil into very small pieces and then level the surface. So while you dig the soil, okay, so break down into pieces, right, minor pieces, and then make sure that you make it level, not up and down. It had to be in the level. So these are the 3 steps. Now, step number 4. Step number 4 is dig planting hole with a space of 30 centimeter. We have to dig the hole, okay, and with a space of how many centimeter? 30 centimeter between each one. If we are planting like more flowers, more than 1 flower, so we have to make sure they're having the space between 2 flowers at least 30 centimeter, and then put seed in each hole, then cover it with soil. So while we put the seed and then put soil on top of that, okay. Number 5, water them every day in the morning and evening until they produce flower. So we have to give water every day, morning and evening, 2 times a day, okay. Number 6, loosen soil after the planting plot in order to increase the level of water and air absorption and air absorbed by the plant. So we have to look, we have to take care of that. We have to examine the soil of that quite often. So if the soil become tight or sticky, so we have to lose it, okay. Why we have to lose? So the water, actually they can absorb more water, they can absorb more water, and air absorb also. They can also absorb the air as well. And the last one is fertilize the plant with compost or manure once a week. So once in a week, you have to give give fertilizer. Okay, fertilizer you can give either compost, either manure. So manure is like a dung of the animals once in a week. Okay, so these are the 7 steps how you can grow marigold flower. Now, how you have to maintain it? Number 1, water the plant every day, both morning and evening. To take care of that, you have to plant it every day, once in the morning, once in the evening. Number 2, loosen soil around the plant. So you always have to make the soil loosen, not leave it to become tired. And if they have like a weed or pest, so you have to remove it regularly, like a useless weed they have or plant around the flower head, so you have to remove it, okay. Number 4, pinch out the tip of the plant in order to help them to bud. So you have to pinch it out, so it will actually help the plant to grow up, okay. And the last one, make sure you give fertilizer. So fertilizer once in a week. So that's how you can maintain the flower marigold in your home. Okay, students, you understand how you can grow the flower in your garden? Students? Okay,
Student,
so those were
are you
all.
understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Get them.
A little bit, right? Okay. I preview again in joy meeting again.
All right, so now here we're having some of the vocabulary. The vocabulary word which we are going to use for the growing garden plants. Okay, students, all of these tools, what we call this one? Tool number 1. What is the tool, student? Equipment. Can you name it? Student, answer me, please. What is the name of this tool, this equipment?
Water can.
Water can. Very good. Water can. And the use of the water can is we use it for watering our plants. Okay. How about this one?
Bucket.
Bucket. Bucket is also used for watering plants, but bucket is mostly used for not small plants, for the bigger trees and all. Bucket. Now, how about this one?
Horse.
Hose. Very good. Hose. So hose is also useful for watering plants. Hose. Now, how about this?
Shovel.
Louder, louder.
Shovel.
Shovel. Very good. Shovel. Now, how about this? Hoe. Hoe. We use it for loosening the tight soil, the hard soil. Hoe. Now,
Shovel.
one.
Shovel.
Louder.
Shovel.
Trowel. Trowel. So also used to make the soil softer, but usually we use for small work, not heavy work. Okay. And it's also made from the metal and having a handle, small handle to hold in the hand. Now, how about this one?
Hand fork.
Hand fork. Hand fork. Hand fork. Now,
Clipper.
clipper. But what type of clipper is this? It's a garden clipper. Garden clipper. So the use of clipper is, what do we use for?
Clean out any sap from the
We cut the branches of the plants. Like a small branches, the plants, they have like a small branches, so we use for to cut the branches. Clipper. Okay, students, so this is all for today in occupation. Okay, students, see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.